So you've been playing a fair while now. You've got some dashing new clothes, an enviable collection of murder sticks, and a
precious doggo to bring you the paper.
You're living the life. What do you do next? Like any fresh-faced young soul, you leap out of your Warframe education, ready to make the world a better and bloodier place. You head on out to the relay, all bright-eyed and faced with a choice.
Who do I want to work for?
You ask.
What career will make my heart sing?
Will I join the Steel Meridian and fight for potato rights? Will I become a professional sports ball player in the Conclave and get all the brand deals? Will I swear my sword to the Arbiters of Hexis and spend my time slowly working said weapon up my presumably taut butthole? The possibilities, my friends, are endless when you join the Syndicates. What are Syndicates, you may well ask? Well, my friends, Syndicates are like miniature factions consisting of people from all walks of life who've picked up their weapons to defend against injustice in the solar system. These colourful characters include defectors, extremists, innovators, entrepreneurs, spiritualists, and also botanists for some reason. I'm not quite sure why they're there, you'd have to ask them. Technically, there are 8 syndicates, but I'll probably end up leaving Cimaris's morbid library of digitized people and Teshin's fight club / lacrosse meet / sass dispensary for another time. Moving on. The first of these pillars of society is the Steel Meridian, a militia of Grineer rebels who have deserted the Twin Queen's xenophobic doctrine and seek to protect the colonies from their more compliant brothers and sisters. Yeah, rebel! They are led by General Cressa Tal, a crude and ruthless but ultimately altruistic leader. Fairly recently, she sent the Tenno to fight in Kayla de Tame's Twisted Rathum games, say that 5 times fast, to save some Grineer defectors from a barbaric trial by combat. Ah, beneath that starchy exterior lies a heart of gold. Suffice to say, the Tenno, after a long grindfest in the arena, worked their way up to the final round and faced Kayla herself. Things did not end well for the gangly Spider-Woman, and the defectors were saved and passed along to the Meridian. Disney endings all around. In terms of firepower, they quite predictably use altered Grineer weapons in form of their own custom, or Vacor, Heck shotgun and Marilot pistol, which both have the ability to deal massive amounts of blast damage. They also use the newest in hybrid weapon technology straight out of Final Fantasy, the Flashbang Trident. I think that's really all I need to say on the matter. Moving on. Although the Steel Meridian fight for justice, they do so at pretty much any cost and abide by a shoot first and ask questions later philosophy, which you can imagine pits them against the more diplomatic approach of the parent sequence. Bunch of goddamn sissies. The Meridian also has issues with New Loka, a pro-humanity purists cult and textbook metaphor for xenophobic isolationism. Damn girl, we getting topical up in here. It's not all bad news for our stalwart defenders of justice, though. They have a friend in... You know that kid you used to go to school with who was a little off, and when he hit puberty he thought trench coats were the way to go in any weather? Yeah, that's the Red Veil, and I am convinced the only reason these guys are friends is because they share the same thesaurus with a misprint that says justice and mass murder are synonymous. Fun fact, the Red Veil are the oldest known syndicate in Warframe and popped up a long-ass time ago in the Spectres of Liberty update when a member called Cantis contacted the Tenno for their help in rescuing some of her colleagues. At this point we didn't get much of a look at how they operated, but since then we've found them to be merciless extremists who would very much like to, and I quote, "heal the system through a great and violent purge. No cost too great, no blood too precious." Lovely, aren't they? Thus far, the leader of the Red Veil has quite appropriately stayed beyond the veil. This is probably either deliberately to preserve that edgy mystique, or because DE hasn't got around to releasing a quest focused on them in a while.
I think we all know which one's probably more likely.
Weirdly, I've even heard some theories that suggest the leader is none other than Stalker, which, to be honest, would be a whole new level of convoluted, even for DE. I mean, he hates us, so he tries to kill us, but also employs us in his small business? Yeah, I'll punish them with the insecurity of a 0-hour contract. Take that, fools! The Veil's weapons of choice are the Rakta series of the Cernos, Ballistica, and Dark Dagger, designed with the intention of spreading viral damage en masse. They also seem to favour the Embolist and the Maya, both weapons derived from the Infested, and even employ chargers to hunt down their enemies. This seems counterintuitive considering their goals are purification, but hey, the logic apparently made sense to somebody at Umbrella in Resident Evil, so who am I to argue? I will make use of a dangerous, volatile, and indiscriminate bioweapon on the blithe assumption that it won't bite me and all my friends in the arse at some point, said every zombie movie villain ever. As for their relationship to all the other syndicates, we know that they buddy up for those cozy murder movie marathons with the Steel Meridian, but quite predictably there are some out there that see that trench coat, the eyeliner, and the look of discontent in their eyes, and tisk in disgust. That just goes to show, kids, never judge a book by its cover, no matter how much leather it's bound in. The absolute worst enemy of the Red Veil are the Masters of Stoicism, the Arbiters of Hexis. We'll go into detail with them next time, but for now, they're basically monks that see the Tenno as more than just super soldiers. It's a little unclear as to why exactly the two groups are enemies on the surface, but I have heard a pretty good theory that suggests that the Arbiters embody a form of fair justice in their sphere of influence that conflicts with the Red Veil's more chaotic lynch mob style. Finally, the Veil are also opposed to Cephalon Suda, the mindful preservationist and scholarly AI that runs her eponymous syndicate in an unending quest for knowledge. This hostility is presumably partly because Suda's abhorrence for destruction and waste, and partly because much like the withered old dears we know today, technology is scary and I can't work out how this Skype thing works. I mean, they're still using bows for fuck's sake. The Red Veil, not the elderly. Although the latter does bring a wonderfully colourful image to mind. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Tune in next week for the wacky adventures of Grumpy Arbiters of Hexis and the creepily curious Cephalon Suda. That's all, folks. Hello everybody, welcome back. Thank you very much for watching. As usual, if you have a response, please feel free to chime in the comments section. I always like to hear from you guys. And if you enjoyed this video, you can fist bump the like button. He personally would prefer a handshake, but he won't tell you that. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, you can do the same to the subscribe button. He's more laid back, he'll probably be alright with it. As always guys, I've been Luke, this has been Loreframe, and you have been awesome. Peace out, boy!